Hey, heathens. Alright. A very popular verse from atheists to use on people who think that the Bible is the Word of God or that it's all-powerful and all-knowing is the idea that the sun would stand still, which, of course, it does, for the lack of a better term, meaning that the sun does not go around the earth goes around the sun. This whole thing really bothers me in a lot of ways. The biggest way is that why don't you understand, Christians and Jewish people and Muslims and everybody else? Back then, yes, there was like 3 guys on the planet who had an idea that maybe the earth was round. Maybe it went around the sun instead of the other way. There were a few guys who had looked at enough to go, hey, you know what I think? Of course, they were probably, immediately stoned or incarcerated or ignored. Kind of like Galileo was. He was arrested and put under house arrest and forced to recant his idea that, everything is exactly what we think it is. But anyway, it really bothers me that people don't understand that that's just what it was back then. Even as early as in the earlier part of the last millennia, plenty of people thought that the world was still flat. That's what the whole Christopher Columbus deal was. They thought the world was flat. Of course, most people kind of knew, but the uneducated didn't. But anyway, 1,000 years before that, 2,000 years before that, they knew that the world was round. Give me a break, okay? Give me a break. Anyway, apart from all that, here's this verse, and it comes from Joshua 10, verse 12. Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel, and he said, in the sight of Israel's son, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of... anyway. So, God makes the sun and the moon stand still, so that, as it says in verse 13, the sun stood still and the moon stayed, and the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? Don't remember. Hang on. I don't remember the book of Jasher in my Bible. Oh, that's right, because it's not in there. Anyway, so the sun stood in the midst of the heaven and has not go down about the whole day. Very clear that they're saying that the sun didn't move. Again, this is a popular verse because we know that the sun doesn't move. The earth goes around the sun. The sun going down is an illusion. So I get this person who says, well, they're just talking about from the earth's perspective. Oh. So what you're saying is that God halted the earth's rotation and also halted the moon's orbit around the earth. Some of my subscribers who are physicists, would you please reply with a video explaining exactly what would happen if the earth suddenly came to a standstill and quit rotating? And what would happen to the moon if it quit orbiting around the earth? Couldn't have been good. Are you sure this is the argument you want to put on this verse? You ever had a glass You know, our planet's covered mostly in water. Yeah, it moves. See how liquid moves? All that water on this Earth. Can you imagine if it's going round and round it goes, round and round it goes, round and round it goes. And if you suddenly stopped it, how big of a wall of water do you think that would create to wipe out the entire planet? Fault lines. I can't see them holding together very much. The sun not turning, and so the heat of the sun stayed on one single spot. That couldn't be good. Not shining on the other half for that period of time couldn't be good. But maybe that's not such a big thing. I don't know. Again, all my little, extremely intelligent subscribers who are physicists and who've perhaps studied this, it just don't seem to hold water to me. I think that would create a lot of problems. What do you think? The Earth stood still. Oh, I almost forgot. It's not the only time this has happened. In fact, it once happened even worse. Isaiah 38, verse 8. Behold, I will bring again the shadow of the degrees which is gone down in the sundial of Ahaz, I guess is how you say that, 10 degrees backwards. So the sun returned 10 degrees, by which degrees it was gone down. In other words, he made the sun go in reverse. Now again, the sun doesn't go in reverse. We're talking about the Earth. So not only did he stop the Earth's rotation, but he made it go backwards, and then stop and go back the other way. 10 degrees back this way, and then start going back the other way. How much chaos would that cause our fragile old planet? What the hell? What the hell? Yeah, Earth stood still. Sure it did.